let's talk about the title of the film. Dustin, what does Brand New Day mean to you? What should it convey to the audience?
Brand New Day, I think, is something that Peter hasn't quite learned yet at the beginning of this movie. I think it represents something that he is deep inside hoping for. And you will see that in many ways, Peter's character and many of the other characters in this movie find that feeling of a brand new day and a new start over the journey of this film.
I want to talk a little bit about set up a little bit about where we find the characters in this one. It's interesting for you, Tom, playing, Peter and Spider-Man are much different places at the start of this. Spider-Man's thriving, Peter not so much. Can you talk a little bit about where we find them at the outset of this film?
I think you really meet Peter Parker at the beginning of the darkest chapter of his life. To me, the thing I love the most about the film is that it really represents, or it's a cautionary tale for the dangers of living a life alone and not having a community, not having friends. And a lesson that he learned from Andrew's character in the previous movie is that, sometimes the bravest thing that you can do is ask for help. And he is actively ignoring that advice, and it is having a profound effect on his life as a human being. But then on the other side of that, as Spider-Man, he is thriving. We're probably seeing the most truthful version of what Spider-Man means to New York City at the beginning of this movie. And the smashing of those two worlds is such a fun thing for us to play with, standing on the world stage and beaming and doing all of this amazing stuff, to then coming home to a pretty grubby New York apartment and, nursing a headache to go to sleep, especially the scenes when we're watching them on Instagram. Yeah. It's just so true to what young people are going through on a daily basis. So for me, I really kind of dove into this new idea because it just felt so relatable, so prevalent with what's happening in the world. And I love telling a movie on this scale that is something that I really think will resonate with young people.
And it's so interesting, obviously, this core three relationship has been, it's been so integral to the first three films. And obviously, you guys wrote yourselves into a really interesting corner, coming into this one, because you guys, for Zendaya and Jacob, I'm just curious, does it feel like you're almost rebuilding the relationship with Peter from the start? Obviously, you guys don't know who he is at the start of this film. So was that a unique kind of going back to basics, deja vu moment for you, or what?
Yeah, I think unfortunately for Peter, Ned and MJ live really great full lives without him.
That's good.
But yeah, but I think there's also that sort of veil of, they do feel like something's kind of missing. And I guess for Ned, really the Spidey tracker thing is kind of his way of finding that missing link between them and Spider-Man. Why is he always trying to save their lives, for example? Is he stalking us, or does he really like his vibe? That type of stuff for him. But I imagine for MJ, it's a completely different sort of, just a different.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it was fun. We kind of describe it as it's a fun acting exercise. It's okay, do the scene, but now as if you've never met before, Yeah. But it was fun to investigate and think about what their lives have been like without Peter, and also because for us, he never existed. But clearly there's an effect of Peter on our lives. The fact that we are even friends and still kind of living in New York together must mean something to them, And I think that, in previous films, MJ was always the pessimist, and it was Peter that was always the optimist. And so it's interesting to see that reversal. Yeah. Now that he's alone, he's kind of adopted that negativity, and she's adopted his positivity without even knowing it.
Right.
So there's clearly something still there. I mean, we always root for them and hope, and because Peter he's one of those characters you just love, and you want them to make the right decisions. And I think, to what you're saying, in the last film, he was cautioned. He was warned by the other Spider-Man men, but what could happen? And I think in many ways this film is grappling with those ideas and really confronting the things that they warned him about. So I'm rooting for him, but
always.
Not looking good.
No spoilers, but we do have some amazing additions to the cast. This is a long time coming. Look, the Punisher made his debut in a Spider-Man comic, and this is a combo we've been waiting to see for a long time. And it's all the more, I would imagine, impactful for you guys because John, you and Tom really are intrinsically linked in your origin stories in Marvel. Talk to me a little bit, John, what it was like to finally mix it up in this way with your old buddy, Tom.
Oh man, so grateful and really beautiful. I've said before that the best thing about this business, without a doubt, is the folks that you get to meet along the way. And you know, he's Tom's top notch for me, and to have gotten to know him as a 17-year-old guy who was just on a mission to do this, and I had never seen the focus and the dedication and the belief. You know, he went and he got this thing, and then to sort of root him on from afar and to see what's come of his life and what this unbelievable franchise and so many people adore him. And then to become this unbelievable man, and then to come back and step onto this set and to sort of see it fully realized, you know, from some dinky room in Ireland where we were slopping together these audition tapes, you know.
With that cool haircut.
Yeah. It's a miracle I got the job with that haircut.
Really?
That's how talented you were and are.
Yeah,
It was a choice.
I thought it looked good, to be honest.
Hey man, I thought it looked.
Got you the job.
Right.
Can we also talk about, I mean, like the fans have questioned, like, how is this even going to work? I mean, the Punisher is a decidedly adult character.
Absolutely.
Did you have questions? And like, I mean, from what I've seen, it clearly does work. But like, how does Frank Castle possibly fit into
Look,
this
I'm enormously protective of Frank and you know, the Punisher fans and what he stands for, and you know, that was a real question for me, and it's such a testament to Destin and to Amy and to Kevin and to Tom and this entire group. It was a concern for them too, and I often think, you know, in art, when you get to sort of the crux of an issue, if you dive into it, if you don't try to avoid it, if you don't try to run away from it, or if you treat the audience with the respect that they're also going to have an issue with it, you get something really great. And I'm so grateful to these guys that it was something that we explored, and it was as important to them as it was to me. And I think what we set out to do is to make it believable that the Punisher could walk out of one of those TVMA shows and onto this set and vice versa. And I think you're going to get that while also just paying respect to this unbelievable tone of this film and what Destin did.
Sadie, as I said before, welcome to this world. There must be a typo in the press notes. There's no character name in there. Weird.
Well, yeah, strange, right?
Strange,
Yeah.
right?
Stranger things have happened.
There it is.
Hey!
Nice.
Yeah,
We got a press
I was sitting
conference.
on that all year.
So, like, look, there's obviously been a ton of secrecy around your character. Talk to me a little bit about jumping into this world and, like, how much were you, I mean, did you get the full scope of this, like, before you stepped on set? Did you have the script, the character, and everything, or?
I didn't have the script for a while, but I talked to Destin a bunch about the character, so I had a good idea of where things were going. Yeah, but it's quite the secret I've had to keep. But I'm such a fan of Spider-Man and these Tom Spider-Man especially, so it feels very surreal to be joining.
Can you say anything about just the challenge in general ways of the
No.
character? Oh my God.
No.